Okay, what is office hours? Here's the full story. A few years ago, I was getting 2 to 3 full days worth of calls and emails and texts about how do I do this in Photoshop? How do I take a photo like this? How do I promote myself as a band? How do I make myself better at typography? Whatever. I wanted to answer those questions fully. I really wanted to make sure to kind of educate based around it, but it really was taking 2 to 3 full days of work for me. So my girlfriend Bronwyn said, well, why don't you steal from Roman Mars and say, I will be at this one place from this time every single Wednesday, from 5:30 to 8 at the Elm. And I said, okay, I'll just go there and work, and then when people have questions, they can show up. Well, pretty soon we started getting a bunch of people that just kept showing up, and I kind of felt bad because I was talking a lot, which made me feel kind of silly. So I thought, well, we should have guests come in and do this and start to kind of give their expertise in terms of how they got to where they were. So we had, in the beginning, Ben DeSoto and Leon Gallery. We had Eric Dollimore and Eric Nord. We had wonderful artists, 7S Management. We had a bunch of folks come in. Blah, 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 blah. We had all these wonderful people. Well, I went back home to Chicago for the holidays, and I realized when you go into a bar in Chicago, something is going on in any bar at all times. That's what provides Chicago kind of a community and a social understanding of how to kind of act when you're in town. And I thought, Denver doesn't really have that. So I came back. And I thought, maybe that's what office hours needs to be. Office hours needs to be a community building exercise for us in a salon style to discuss what the city's becoming, how our creative endeavors are going, how our pragmatic approach is trying to get us to where we want to be. And so I started getting more guests and more guests and more guests and more people to speak, and more people have been showing up. And now it's turned into actually a community. Any city planner will tell you, no city is complete without art. Art is the fuel. Art is the driving force behind any city, behind any notion that's trying to grow farther. This is our contribution to Denver to make sure that this place becomes what we would like it to be. So every Wednesday, I still sit there with my laptop from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Elm, and people come and they hang out. And sometimes we have wonderful guests. Now, like Mark Sink and Gary Isaacs, and profound photographers, and pragmatic approaches like Ian Hall, who came and talked about the psychology behind why we would build a website the way we would build a website. We have people coming to talk about how to build bios, how to write about yourself. These are wonderful opportunities. It's essentially a masterclass built in a salon style every single week. The only rule at office hours is no shit talking. Just don't talk bad about someone. No creativity comes of that. It's a vicious cycle that's really no fun to be around. It's an open forum for anyone. If you have questions, come. If you don't have questions, come. If you're just thirsty and you kind of want to smoke a bunch of cigarettes on a porch, come. Everyone's welcome. I hope to see you there. That's what office hours is.